Listen to me closely. There are signals in life that are so powerful, so undeniable that if you miss them, you miss the opportunity of a lifetime. And when it comes to human attraction, when it comes to a woman showing you interest, most men are blind. They don't see it. They don't feel it. They ignore it. And then they wonder why they're stuck, frustrated, and alone. But today, I'm going to wake you up. Attraction is not about what comes out of someone's mouth. It's about what they do without even thinking about it. When a lady is drawn to you, her actions begin to speak in ways that are far louder than any words she could ever say. This is why men who focus only on what she verbally communicates often miss the reality of her interest. Words can be polite, calculated, or even misleading, but behavior, subconscious behavior, is raw truth. Think about it. When someone is genuinely attracted, their body naturally leans forward, their eyes linger longer, their smile comes quicker, and their energy becomes more open. These small, subtle actions are not coincidences. They are signals, and those signals are the language of attraction. The mistake many men make is believing they need verbal confirmation to know if a woman is interested. They want her to say, "I like you," or "I'm attracted to you." But attraction doesn't usually announce itself that way. Instead, it slips out in the moments when she plays with her hair while talking to you, when she laughs at things that weren't really that funny, when she adjusts her posture as soon as you walk into the room, or when she finds excuses to stay in your presence just a little longer. These are not random gestures. They are evidence of an internal state she cannot fully control. The power in understanding this lies in awareness. If you are blind to her actions, you miss the chance to connect. But if you are aware, if you observe without overthinking, you realize she is communicating with you in a way that doesn't require words. This is where your confidence comes in. Most men destroy these moments by second guessing themselves. They say, maybe she's just being nice, or maybe I'm imagining it. That insecurity kills the flow. Attraction is not meant to be dissected with doubt. It is meant to be noticed and responded to with certainty. Imagine this: a lady is across from you, and every time you speak, she leans closer as if pulled in by your energy. Her eyes don't just glance, they lock, and when they do, she doesn't rush to look away. She smiles a little wider when you're around, her tone becomes warmer, and her presence feels lighter. None of these things require a single word, but all of them together create an undeniable truth. She's attracted. If you train yourself to pay attention to those signals, you will never again wonder whether she's interested. This understanding gives you power, not the power to manipulate, but the power to respond with confidence. Instead of doubting, you lean into the moment. Instead of questioning, you engage fully. Her actions are the invitation, and your awareness is the acceptance. Attraction at its core is not spoken. It is shown, felt, and experienced through action. And when you start paying attention to those actions, you'll never miss the signs again. Confidence is the true magnet that pulls people in, and nowhere is this more obvious than in attraction. Most men believe they have to try harder, say the right things, or chase in order to be noticed by a woman, but in reality, the opposite is true. Chasing, begging, and trying to prove yourself come from a place of insecurity, and insecurity is repelling. On the other hand, confidence is silent, it's steady, and it speaks louder than anything you could ever say. It is not about arrogance. It is not about being loud or dominating the room. It's about owning who you are without apology. When you walk into a room with certainty in yourself, people feel it. Women feel it, and that feeling is what draws them closer. Think about the difference between a man who enters a room nervously, constantly worrying about how he's being perceived, and a man who enters grounded, comfortable in his own skin, and radiating certainty. One creates tension and discomfort, while the other creates curiosity and attraction. A lady can sense within moments whether a man believes in himself or not. She doesn't even need to hear him speak. It's in his posture, his eye contact, his stillness, his ability to remain calm even when everything around him feels chaotic. That kind of grounded presence is rare, and it is magnetic. What most people don't realize is that confidence is not about faking it until you make it. Confidence is built by knowing your value, setting standards for yourself, and not compromising them. It's when you no longer seek approval because you already approve of yourself. This is why so many men miss out. They think confidence comes from getting attention or validation, but real confidence comes from within. When you no longer need external validation, you naturally attract it because people want to be around someone who doesn't beg for their energy. A confident man also doesn't chase because he understands attraction is not something you force. He knows that trying to win someone over by proving his worth actually communicates the opposite message. It says he doesn't believe he's already enough. Instead, confidence allows him to hold back, to remain patient, to give space for the other person to come closer. This creates tension, and tension is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. By not rushing, by not pushing, he allows curiosity and desire to build. Confidence also shines in how a man handles rejection. When an insecure man hears no, he crumbles, he feels defeated, and he lets it define his worth. But when a confident man hears no, he smiles, thanks the person, and keeps moving forward because he knows rejection is not about him. It's simply part of the process. That resilience is incredibly attractive because it shows strength. At the end of the day, confidence is not something you put on like clothing. It's something you live, breathe, and embody. It's the quiet assurance that says, I am enough as I am, and I don't need to chase. That energy draws people in naturally. And when a lady senses that kind of presence, it doesn't just catch her attention, it captivates her. The signals of attraction are often subtle, but they are also undeniable once you learn how to recognize them. Many men fail to see these signals because they are too busy overthinking, doubting themselves, or expecting attraction to show up in some dramatic, obvious way. But attraction is not always loud. It's quiet, it's natural, and it shows up in patterns of behavior that a woman herself may not even realize she's expressing. When a lady is drawn to you, her body, her energy, and her actions start aligning with that feeling. And if you can pay attention, you will see that those signals are right in front of you. One of the strongest signals is eye contact. When someone is not interested, they look away quickly, they avoid holding your gaze, and they create distance. But when she is attracted, she doesn't just look at you. She looks into you. Her eyes linger a little longer, and sometimes she even steals glances when she thinks you're not looking. That gaze is a window into her interest, and if you miss it, you miss a major clue. Another powerful signal is her body language. The human body naturally gravitates toward what it desires, and if she's leaning in while you're talking, if her shoulders and feet are pointed toward you, if she mirrors your movements, these are not accidents. They are subconscious actions revealing that her attention is fully centered on you. On the other hand, if her body is turned away, her arms are tightly crossed, or she seems restless, those are signs of disengagement. Reading body language is like reading a book that never lies. Laughter is another sign that speaks volumes. When she laughs at your jokes, even the ones you know weren't that funny, it's not about the humor, it's about the connection. Laughter lowers walls, it creates bonds, and it's one of the easiest ways people show they're comfortable and engaged. If she's laughing more around you than others, it's a signal that she enjoys your presence and feels drawn to your energy. Physical touch, even in small ways, is also a clear sign of attraction. If she playfully taps your arm, brushes her hand against yours, or finds excuses to make contact, these are ways of testing comfort and building closeness. Touch breaks barriers, and when she initiates it, it's her way of saying she feels safe and connected. Finally, pay attention to effort. If she invests her energy into the interaction, if she finds reasons to stay longer, if she asks personal questions or brings up topics that keep the conversation flowing, that's not politeness, that's interest. A woman who doesn't care will keep things short, but a woman who's drawn to you will create opportunities to extend the moment. The truth is, attraction leaves breadcrumbs everywhere, and when you develop the awareness to follow them, you will no longer second-guess yourself. These signals are her way of communicating without words, and if you respect them, acknowledge them, and rise to meet them with confidence, you'll never again be left wondering if she's truly interested. Attraction is always shown. It's up to you to notice. Attraction is not a one-way street, it's a mirror. The way someone reacts to you, the way they feel around you, is often a direct reflection of the energy you bring into the interaction. If you approach with fear, insecurity, or doubt, that energy will be felt, and it will often create resistance. On the other hand, if you bring confidence, presence, and passion, people respond in kind. A woman's attraction is deeply influenced by the emotional state you project because humans are wired to mirror the energy around them. This is why two men can say the exact same words to the same woman, but one gets ignored while the other sparks connection. It's not the words, it's the energy behind them. Think about it like this: energy is contagious. When you are nervous, it spreads. When you are calm, it spreads. When you are alive with passion and certainty, it spreads. A lady can sense within moments whether being around you will lift her energy or drain it. This is why attraction often has little to do with physical looks and much more to do with how you make her feel. If your energy communicates strength, safety, and excitement, it awakens something within her. If your energy communicates neediness, fear, or desperation, it shuts that part of her down. Your energy is constantly sending messages without even realizing it. The way you carry yourself, the tone of your voice, the way you listen or interrupt, even how you hold eye contact, all of these are signals. If you are grounded and centered, she feels grounded. If you are scattered and insecure, she feels uncomfortable. People pick up on unspoken emotions faster than they process spoken words. Attraction is emotional before it's logical, and emotions are triggered by the energy you emit. One powerful example is confidence versus arrogance. A man with true confidence radiates calm strength. He doesn't need to brag, he doesn't need to prove anything, and he doesn't need to dominate the room. That energy makes a woman feel safe and curious. But a man who confuses arrogance for confidence may try too hard, talk too loudly, or put others down, and that energy feels heavy and unattractive. Both men may think they're being confident, but the energy behind their actions reveals the truth. This also explains why some men who are physically average still have women drawn to them. They've mastered their energy. They walk into a room with certainty, they hold themselves like someone who belongs, and they make others feel seen and valued. That kind of energy is magnetic. On the flip side, even the best-looking man will struggle if his energy communicates insecurity or fear. At the heart of it, attraction is less about what you say or do and more about who you are in the moment. If you want a woman to reflect attraction toward you, then you must reflect attraction toward yourself first. Be the man who is alive, passionate, confident, and grounded, and she will naturally mirror that energy back. When you own your presence fully, attraction doesn't have to be forced, it flows. Stepping into your power means no longer hesitating, no longer second guessing, and no longer letting fear rob you of the opportunities in front of you. Too many men miss out on attraction, relationships, and connection simply because they fail to act when the signs are clear. A lady may give subtle signals, lean in, laugh at your jokes, lock eyes with you, but if you shrink back into insecurity, those moments slip away. Power is not about control or domination. It is about ownership. It is the decision to recognize the signals of attraction and to rise into them with certainty rather than shrinking away with doubt. When you step into your power, you stop playing small. You stop asking yourself, what if I'm wrong? Or what if she rejects me? Instead, you say, what if I rise to the moment and create something unforgettable? Rejection may happen, but the real rejection is the one you give yourself when you do nothing. Attraction is not meant to be questioned endlessly. It's meant to be embraced, respected, and explored. By stepping into your power, you honor both yourself and the woman showing you interest. This doesn't mean being aggressive or pushy. In fact, true power is calm, steady, and respectful. It means you respond to her signals by leaning into the connection with confidence. If she leans closer, you engage. If she laughs, you build on that energy. If she locks eyes, you don't look away. You hold that gaze and communicate that you see her, that you are present, and that you are not afraid. That presence is magnetic because it tells her she's dealing with a man who knows who he is. Stepping into your power also means owning your worth. You no longer operate from the mindset of, I hope she likes me. Instead, you shift to, I know I bring value, and I choose to see if we connect. That change in perspective transforms the entire interaction. A woman feels the difference between a man who is desperate for approval and a man who stands firmly in his own value. The former creates pressure, the latter creates curiosity and attraction. When you rise into your power, you also let go of fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough. All of it falls away when you decide that your worth is not determined by one person's reaction. That mindset is liberating and it allows you to be fully authentic in every moment. And authenticity is one of the most attractive qualities a man can have because it shows strength, vulnerability, and truth all at once. At the core, stepping into your power is about courage. Courage to notice the signals, courage to act on them, courage to be fully present and unafraid of the outcome. When you live from that place, attraction is no longer something you chase. It becomes something you naturally create. And once you experience that, you'll realize that stepping into your power isn't just about attraction. It's about every area of your life.